Good evening. My name is Sister Berlinda. I'm going to read the book of Proverbs, not the whole chapter of Proverbs, just a few verses, maybe 4 or 5 verses. But I think Proverbs is a very good book of wisdom. I started reading it today, and when I went out and about on today, I saw a difference within myself. Words were being spoken, words that I didn't like to hear. Some words that was encouraging, some words that made me smile, some words that made me think. I had a pretty good day today. To God be the glory. But I just want to read maybe 3 or 4 verses of the book of Proverbs. The first chapter. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. Verse 3. To receive instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity. Verse 4. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. Verse 5. A wise man will hear. Are you a wise man? Of course you are. And will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Do you have understanding? Of course you do. Verse 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise, and their dog saying. You need verses 1 through 5 in order to understand verse 6. May I read another verse? Verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools, they despise wisdom and instruction. The fear of the Lord. It's not talking about, not that kind of fear. It means to reverence, to respect the word of God. It's the beginning of knowledge, of knowing how to do, how to operate, how to live by the word of God. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Now verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Verse 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace. We all need grace. Unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. Verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without a cause. Verse 12. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. Verse 13. And we shall find all precious substance we shall fill our houses with spoil. Verse 14. And cast in that lot among us, and let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. Verse 16. For their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. That's some very, 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 very good instruction. Very good instruction. Don't plot to hurt someone. If someone trying to hurt someone, get away from that person. You may not be doing anything, but if you're in the midst of that person that's doing wrong, and that person get caught, you are part of that crime by the law. You are part of whatever they did wrong. You ever heard of the saying, birds of a feather flocks together? You may not be one of those birds. You may not even be one of those feathers. But because you are in the midst of those feathers, in the midst of the bird, you're just as guilty as the one that committed the crime. Son, hear the instruction of thy father. Hear what your father's telling you. And forsake not the law of thy mother. Listen to your parents, in other words. For your parents will feed you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to keep you from going in that path of that wrongdoing person. Don't be punished. The simple knows about the situation, but yet choose to go in that path. That simple man is going to be punished because he didn't listen, or she didn't listen for the instruction, or the instruction. It's like he or she had a deaf ear, dull hearing. Father may say, don't hang out with those guys, because he's a man. He's been that route before. Then your mother would say, boy, you better not go with those boys. Now, your father don't warn you about those boys. Now, you go with those boys and you get caught up out there with the police, you're going to be just as guilty as the one that committed the crime. Stay away from those type of boys. Stay away. The father gave instruction. Mother gave instruction. I just thought I would share the book of Proverbs. It's a very interesting book to read each chapter and look like it always say, my son, because in the beginning, God created man. With that being said, I thank God for allowing me to read Proverbs. May you have a good night. Good night.